This is a 2006 Chevy 5.3 Suburban. This should be very similar for Silverado, Tahoe, Yukon, 4.8, 4.8, 5.3, 6.0, blah, 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 blah. A lot of things this are pretty similar. I gotta replace the belt. The tensioner actually locked up on me and got thrown. So I'm gonna replace them all. Let's get started. I went ahead and put it up on ramps. Might not need to do this, but I chose to. I don't think we need to remove this, but we need to remove this air intake duct. That looks like it's just going to be a simple hose clamp with a flathead screwdriver. As always, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. If I can get it in there. You know, I should just get the tripod, but I want to make things hard on myself. Ooh. I'm not going to disconnect this end. It looks like I can just flex it out of the way, because I can now access almost everything. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this belt is bad. This vehicle has 333,000 miles, and I've never replaced this. And the last record of it being done is at 100,000 miles. Something else, I've heard before that if the lettering is wearing off the back of the belt, it's time to replace it. I don't know if that's true for timing belts on Subarus or all belts, but the lettering has definitely worn off of this. And more importantly, this dry rot cracking sensation going on here tells me it's not very trustworthy. And I just drove this on a 2,500 mile trip, because that's how I roll. This right here is the tensioner, and this is a 15mm wrench. You just push it in, release the tension. Ooh, can I do this one-handed? Yeah, I can. That's how easy it is. I know you guys can do it too. Unless maybe you got one hand. No, you still could do it. I did it with one hand. Next, we're going to take this out. Try to remember what this looks like. I'm going to take it out and then immediately throw it in the garbage. Let's see. That idler doesn't look too bad to me, but I'm just replacing everything here. And that is a 15. That was barely on there. Yeah, a little bit. Oh. This looks like it's also a 15. Yep. That is the dinner belt. Water pump. Those at least had some resistance. Those are all 15s. I'm using the same socket. I suppose you could just use a socket to take off the belt as well. These bolts are different. This shorter bolt, let me see here. This shorter bolt went right there. This longer bolt came out the top, and let's see what the third one looks like. To give you an idea, short bolt, short hole, long bolt, long hole. So I'd say this tensioner, at least the pulley on the tensioner rather, I'm replacing the whole thing. I'd say it was ready to go too. Now, my air conditioning pump, my air conditioning belt for the pump rather, has actually been thrown already. Now neither seems locked up. This is the idler, and then this will clutch in magnetically and spin. Both of them are free spinning. However, this on the tensioner appears to be what's locked up. So we do have to replace that tensioner. And I think it's actually going to be easier to get at it from the bottom. Here we are at the bottom. Now this is a Z71 model. I believe all Z71 models came standard with these bash plates, which I'm thankful to have. I don't know how effective they are, but I've never bashed anything behind them. So I'd also like to point out that this Chevy is equipped with a self-oiling feature to help prevent rust. Thank you for that one. To get this plate off, it's going to be 4 15mm bolts. Real quick note, you can still use the ratchet, but I'm going to save some time and use the gun. That one sounded different. Oh, that one's been hit. Well, in that case, the bash plate does seem to help. This is the grease zerk for the idler. Pitman idler. Let me stick my fat head up there, maybe take my hat off so you can see my stupid haircut. Yeah, I can reach that. This is the view of the air conditioning pump here. And the pulley, ooh, that's bad. Or rather the pulley on the tensioner. It looks like you'd need a 3/8. I think that's 3/8. And we do the same thing with the tensioner, but in this case, we just need to remove it because the belt's already broken. I believe once again, it's going to be 2 15mm bolts. This is the front bumper. We're looking at the inside of the front bumper. Going back down the rail, this is the front of the front control arm. I'm actually having an easier time reaching it this way, if I can get a good angle on it. So if you can do this, do this, even though I'm not making it look hard. And with the bolt out, tensioner's out. So here's the failed tensioner. Here's the new one. Hopefully you can see that spinning. If it helps you out, this is the part number. This is an AC Delco. I believe it's professional or just AC Delco. I didn't see a professional listed. This is the AC Delco. For those that don't know, AC Delco makes parts for GM. So the more you know. And now we simply tighten it back up. Put it on. Go ahead and tighten it back up. I want to tighten it back on the other side like I did before, but I don't think you'll be able to see that. So I'll just do a nice edit right here. And then we just go ahead and tighten this up. with that same 15. Put the new one on, and we torque it down to factory spec. Luckily, my arm knows what factory spec is very well. It's actually very acutely tuned. Now, typically, I'd say a good idea at this point is to compare the belts. However, I'm doing this because it actually already has thrown the belt, so I have no belt to compare it to. Because I done thrown the busted one in the garbage on the side of the road, and I threw my battery in the ocean. With it pre-set up, reach up with your favorite, I think it's a 3/8. It's either a 3/8 or a half. Yes. Reach up with your favorite 3/8 ratchet. Remove tension. Oh. It'd help if it was all the way on, huh? The act of me doing this actually removes your ability to see. I've kind of got the belt pre-ran now. That's it. That is the air conditioner belt. Go ahead and check, fill. It's going to be easier than looking, but also look to confirm that the belt is smooth and on the grooves the whole way around. All right, we're done underneath. Let's go ahead and put that skid plate on and then go back up top. And to give you an idea what this should look like from the top, that right there. All of them on the groove, nice and straight on both ends. So now we're going to work on the forward pulley, which is the more vital of the two pulleys. Since you'd lose your water pump, that'd be bad. Your alternator, that'd be bad. Your power steering, that'd be bad. And on this model, your power brakes. So I'm sure you would notice if that one went. This is the idler that we took off. If it helps, this is the idler we're putting on. If you can read that, I'll list it in the description if it helps, because that's kind of tough to read. Once again, AC Delco, so this should simply thread on, which it does. Lovely. Once again, we are torquing to factory spec. And then we're going to put on the tensioner. Here's the new tensioner. Honestly, the pulley doesn't seem any better, but considering the one locked up, I'm willing to replace all three. We're going to put the bolts in the same order. And remember, the one short bolt is the one bolt right there. And by the way, be sure to support your American companies and use Canadian-made products, because once again, this is AC Delco. This is the AC Delco part number, and it even has a GM part number on it as well, because it's the same thing. All right, with that on, make sure to get the correct belt, because I didn't, and let's put it on. Rust Belt Raccoon is pre-routed the belt. Everything is straight. All I've got to do now is make that much tension. And let's see if that's enough. I don't like how tight that is. I do not like how tight that is at all. However, everything appears to be in order. So, I'm going to put the intake back on, start it, and listen for terrible noises. Ooh, as lightning comes. Does everything look good? Sure. Listen to that baby tick. All right. I'm having some trouble with the law lately, so I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.